The Thrivehood Podcast is a relevant life roadmap for boys and young men who want to thrive as they mature into manhood. I'll be your host, Tim Williams, and welcome to Thrivehood. Hey guys, welcome back. I've got something in my eye. That's great. Okay, all right, I think I'm good. All right, there we go. Hey, I'm just being real, man. I'm just being real. I could have stopped this and started re-recording it, but yeah, I'm just going to go with it. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Hey, I want to just tell you, I know that there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there that run the gamut as far as the different subject matters that are covered. And it really does mean a lot that you've decided to stop by and check this out. So I don't take that lightly. I consider that almost every time I'm doing an episode, as I'm still dealing with something in my eye. Okay, there we go. So anyway, let's move on. So learn to follow so that you can lead. If you do a Google search or you use DuckDuckGo or anything out there, any search engine, you're going to come across hundreds of thousands of articles, resources, literature, information right at your fingertips of how to be a leader. Go do it. It's all over the place. But what's interesting is you do a Google search for how to be a good follower, there is not nearly as much information and as many resources available to you. Do you want to know why that is? We don't want to be a follower. We don't see ourselves as a follower. That almost has a negative connotation to it. I'm a follower. I don't have my own original ideas. I don't have anything that I can think about. Hey, especially for you guys right now and the age that you're in, some of you moving into teenage years, the last thing you want to do is be a follower, right? You are moving into having your own ideas. You got your own agenda. You're figuring life out and you've got some epiphanies that have happened and you're like, hey man, all right, this is who I want to be and where I want to go. So I get all of that. But the truth of the matter is, before you can become a true leader, someone that can lead others, you need to learn how to be a good follower as well. So we're going to jump into this a little bit. Now, let me say this. I've got five ideas here. And by the way, this isn't the end all be all. If you do these 5 things, of course, circumstances are different in everyone's life and situations and things like that. But again, I'm just trying to help you with some basics here. And we are not necessarily talking about all things in life, right? I've sort of geared this more towards career. But keep in mind, not everyone that has ever been born, that is being born now, or that's going to be born, is going to be a leader of a company. It's just not feasible. It's impossible. It can't happen. So while we hear so much about being a leader and taking on the corporate opportunities and CEOs and doing all this stuff and making all these big changes and leading hundreds of thousands of people, there are millions of people that have come and gone that have never been leaders. So while I understand that it's enticing to want to think in those terms, and I think we should be, let me clarify. I'm not saying, well, just give up. Of course that's not what I'm saying. But don't get too caught up in this whole idea that if I haven't become a CEO of a company that I have failed in my life and my career. That's a false statement. That's a false narrative if you're even thinking that as far as that is concerned. If you're leading your family, if you're taking care of your wife, if you're helping your kids grow up and putting them in good schools and you're paying your bills and you're paying your taxes and you're working hard and you're giving your family a vacation maybe ever so often and you're enjoying your weekends and you have a good life, that's leadership, guys. That's leadership. In and of itself, that is leadership. Taking control of things in your life, controlling what could control you, that's leadership. So we could go down a whole bunch of bunny trails as it relates to that, but I want to stay primarily today with these 5 tips more from a career standpoint of just moving on and getting into the next stage of your life. So with that said, let's jump into the first one. So the first thing that I would say would be important is to keep your ego in check. Great followers exhibit great ego restraint. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say that you get into the workforce and you have done quite a bit of work. Maybe you've done the majority of work on a project, or there was a number of people that got together and they wanted to create something. And let me back up. I said a job. Maybe this is a volunteer situation, or maybe it's a sport, right? Maybe you're involved in practice. Whatever the case may be, where maybe you felt, and justifiably so, you felt you have given more than maybe the rest. Here's the key. You give credit and acknowledgement to the whole team. You make others feel valued as much as maybe you would want to put the spotlight on you. And do you know why this is important? It does two things. One, it feels good. It just feels good. And two, you are beginning to gain trust from those around you. Guys, that is the very first step in beginning to become a leader, gaining trust from others. Huge, 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 huge. Number two, you form strong credibility. Give credit where credit is due, sort of what I said before. If this idea wasn't yours, then don't take credit for it. Okay? Don't do that. You give credit where credit is due. If you've made a mistake, own up to it. Step up to the plate and share success. If you and someone else has been working on something, tell the leadership how well this other person has done. You don't have to toot your own horn. You really don't. It will come to light. It will naturally rise to the top. They talk about cream rises to the top. It will. It will just happen. Don't be worried about you and what you have to tell the boss and how much you have to put yourself in the spotlight. It will be a natural progression. On occasion, that would be important to do that. But don't make that your mantra, okay? If you see a problem, bring a possible solution to the problem. Don't think about it. Don't wonder if you should say something. If you see a challenge, if you see something in the lane that you're working in, and you see a problem, find a solution. Even if that solution is not chosen when it's all said and done, and maybe leadership's gone in a different direction, it shows that you are a problem solver and not a trouble maker. It means that you are thinking on your feet. You're coming up with ideas and suggestions in order to resolve the issues. And guess what? Once in a while, what you present will actually be chosen. So keep that in mind. Don't get discouraged if 2 or 3 times, leadership doesn't listen. Now, I get it. There are companies and situations where it's not the best place to be in. That might not be a bad idea to find something else if it's that bad of an organization. But you get my drift here. Keep it in perspective. Number 3, commitment. Effective followers are committed to something. Okay? They're committed to a cause. They're committed to a product. They're committed to a principle, right? And they're also committed to their colleagues. They are committed. Even though the company has its own set of flaws and misgivings and stumbling blocks that they put in their own way, it happens in every company. Quick tip, guys. You're going to leave one job to go to another because you think it's better. You won't have the same problems you have now. You'll just have different ones. Just a quick tip there on outside of these 5. Keep that in mind. But you need to buy in. You need to be committed. Make an impact by buying into the mission. Offer ideas. Offer suggestions. Be proactive when the boss says, I need somebody to help. Whatever the case may be. Make a commitment. That will speak volumes to you. About you, I should say, from leadership. Well, what does that got to do with leadership? Because companies want to see, leaders committed, right? So if you're already showing that commitment, you're already doing that, they are beginning to see that, and you're beginning to set, what did I just say? Number 2 was you're establishing credibility. You're beginning to establish the groundwork for who you are as a leader just by simply showing how you follow. Number 4, selflessness. There is a value in those who pitch in without being asked or told to do it. It's as simple as that. You're going to have a job description to some level, right? We all do. But this is a guideline. It's not a hard and fast rule. So when you can help wherever you can, regardless of your title or your pay, don't worry about that. You've had to do some heavy lifting here and there. It's not about how much you get paid for. It's not how much, should I get a promotion? Again, selflessness. Put yourself in there to say, I'll do whatever I need to do. And this supports my third point about commitment, to help get the idea, the cause, the product, whatever. We're going to win. We're going to succeed. And I'll do more than what I've been asked to do to help the company move forward. And number 5, and the last one is this: give 10% more than everybody else. Just 10% more. It doesn't take much to be a star contributor and to get noticed. It really doesn't, guys. So in all that you do just a little more than is expected. I am flabbergasted by the number of interactions that I have at restaurants, grocery stores, shopping centers, malls, wherever, electronic stores, wherever the case, building supply stores, if you sort of know where I'm talking about. And I'm sorry, but it's just a thorn in my side. Sometimes the incompetence, it really is annoying. It's frustrating. And I say to myself, if they were just doing a little more than everybody else, it would be seen. It would be recognized. So keep in mind, if you want to get recognized, if you want to be seen by leadership as someone that is of value to your organization, do 10% more. Stay 10% more longer. Show up 10% sooner, right? Get off your break 10% faster. Whatever that 10% is, just give a little more, show a little more effort. I'm telling you, it will go a long way. Guys, I am always striving to bring you the best podcast episodes that I can. And I'm hoping that you are striving to be the best that you can be in what endeavor you have set forth to fulfill. Until next time, guys, stay strong.